This is Marriage Today on Ectvn. Stay tuned. Welcome once again, viewers, to Ectvn. My name is Enes Kazbek, and you are watching Marriage Today. Last week, we talked about communications in marriage, how communication is important in marriage, and we also look at some basic issues that hinder effective communication. Today, we are here to talk about how to move from loneliness to intimacy in marriage. And once again, I have with me in the studio a marriage counselor and a relationship expert in the person of Pastor Josephine Olatunde of RPPT Ministry. You are welcome to the program, Pastor.
It's a privilege once again for me to be here in the studio with you. Thank you.
You're welcome. The topic for today's discussion is how to move from loneliness to intimacy. And one thing I always ask myself is, how do couples get from a state of intimacy to a place of loneliness? How does that happen in the first place?
What happens is that when our marriage is shaky, the two people do not basically has the same feelings or desires towards one another. It's very difficult for you to be able to be, to be able to be close with each other. And the word intimacy, it's very, very important in order for you to sustain your marriage, because you're not alone, but you feel that you're lonely. Because, God has created you two together to be together for life, for you to spend the rest of your life together. So you need to be able to share with one another. You need to be able to understand each other's emotions, each other's feelings, the desires that comes along with it. And you need to be able to, look at your spouse and to be able to understand their feelings, when they really want to get very close with you in terms of intimacy, because it's a very sacred thing. It's a very special moment for two people to come together and show each other love. This is not about love making, but this is about loving each other with all your entire, with your heart, with everything that God has blessed you with. So it's something that the two needs to work together and to understand each other's feelings. Yes.
So I did a little research prior to this discussion. And what I do notice is that when people get married, most of the time the women, they do complain that their husband used to take them out for date nights. They used to go to the park. They used to go to the beach. Almost they have activities going on every week. But the moment they got married, everything changed. The husband don't have time for the wife anymore. And their focus is mostly about work. They don't even spend time together anymore. How does this happen?
Well, it comes along by complacency. You figured out that, okay, the thing that you're planning, or the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, you need to, impress them by doing all these other extra things that you were doing. And in order for you to keep that going, because you do not want to put a stop to it, because that will set things apart from each other, you need to be able to share with yourself, good memories, loving moments that you've spent together. And you must not allow that to die, because it's like you want to hold yourself together like a mortar, like a mortar. And when that mortar it's not together, what it happens is everything crumbles. So in a marriage setup, you need to be very close in terms of the way you understand. Little things goes a long way. Some spouses find it very hard to kiss each other in public.
Right.
And they feel that, I'm so shy to do this. Why are you shy? That's the question that I want to ask you. Why are you being drifted away from each other? You need to be able to express your feelings, despite your circumstances or situation around you. Show yourself extra love in order for you to keep your marriage going. The things that you were doing before, you have to be able to continue to do it And I will give you an examples, and people will be like, oh, we're trying to save money. So because we're trying to save money, we must not be eating out all the time.
Right.
We must not be spending money on movie tickets. We can go out there and, to recharge or set up a Netflix account and we can watch a movie together. But it's totally not the same feelings. It's not the way that you were doing things before. And when you think about saving money or putting money aside for other things, you're neglecting your marriage. And that must not be the case. You need to continue to get closer. And for you to have that intimacy,
right,
you need that closeness with one another. You need to be able to kindle your love. Have candlelight dinner, candlelight dinner once in a while, once in a week. Don't feel that, oh, now you're a mother, you're neglecting your husband. You have more time with the children. Or now you're a father, you spend more time with the boys out with their soccer games or their baseball games, and your wife is like secondary. No, that must not be the case. You need to be able to come together, even with the little money that you have, plan ahead, and make your marriage great.
What advice do you have for people that are out there watching us right now, feeling lonely in their marriage? What can they do specifically to breathe life back into their marriage?
Oh, what a wonderful and excellent question to our viewers and to people that are tuning in right now. Divorce is not the case. Divorce, it's not the way out. I will tell you over and over and over again. Divorce hurts. If a lot of people had to change and turn around the time, they would have walked away from divorce because that's not the final solution. But people always find the easy way out and they think that's divorce. In order for you to work things out in your marriage, you need to come back to that table. You need to lay down the pieces that are broken. You need to understand, where did I go wrong? What did I do to come to this extent? You need to be able to figure out a way out. Marriage is not something, it's not a clothes, like a suit that you put on and you don't like it and you put it back off. Marriage means a lot, especially to God that has created and that has formed us. It is one of the greatest institutions. You will not get a certificate without completing school. But when you get into marriage, the first thing you're handed is a marriage license. So you have to understand that there's a lot of work that needs to be put into marriage.
Right.
Do not look out for the shortcut or the quick way out. If your marriage is going through storms right now, before you check out of that marriage, you need to seek a very good counselor. Go into counseling. Go into therapy. Pray about it. Take that great steps. Talk to your maker. Talk to God. And let God direct you. Let God order your steps. And remember, Christ said that He has not given us what we cannot bear. In the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, we need to understand that the plan that God has towards marriage is for peace and not of evil. And I've often heard a lot of people say that they have tried everything possible. They've read books, they've listened to DVDs, they've gone into seminars, and nothing seemed to change. That means you keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. You have to turn around the clock. You have to be able to tackle the initial problem in that marriage, and that could be intimacy. Sex is real in a marriage. Sex is acceptable in a marriage. You need to uncover each other's nakedness, love each other for who they are, tolerate one another, respect each other's feelings and desires, and appreciate one another. And please do not compare your marriage with Mr. Smith's marriage and Mrs. Smith's marriage. Their marriage is totally different and uniquely from yours. Your marriage is the best, and you will need to make it to be the best. Thank you.
To share with our audience whether it is okay while working on your marriage to go to friends for advice. or should you go to your pastor, or should you talk to your mom, or how do you go about it?
Wonderful again. That's a beautiful question. Genesis chapter 2 verse 24 says that a man will leave his family and will come to his wife, and the two shall become one. And it also led us to know that what God has joined together, man should not put asunder. The best person for you to seek advice is the Lord Almighty God, the Alpha, the Omega, and the beginning and the end. Because he said, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. According to Matthew chapter 11. You need to bring your problems, your issues, troubles, worries, agony to God first. Many times we all cancel each other, friends, families, colleagues, out of emotions, out of our past experiences. Of course, we've heard that experience is the best teacher, but we also need to take a little step further, that we need to seek the higher authority, the higher powers. Not saying that it's not good to seek other people's advices for what you're going through, because they've been there. Your mom or your father could have been married for way over 45 years, but their generation is totally different to this advanced technology world that we lived in. But you need to seek God first. And when you seek other people, don't do as they tell you to do. Do as what God tells you to do. Because a lot of people will say, do as I say, but don't do as I do. And I hope that helps.
Thank you very much, Pastor Josephine Olatunde, for coming to the program. And those of you watching at home via YouTube and Facebook, I would like to thank you for tuning in to Marriage Today on Ectvn. And also, don't forget to share this video with your friends, your family, your loved ones, and you might be of help to someone. You never know. So until next time on Ectvn Marriage Today, remember, like I always say, a successful marriage is not about having the right partner. A successful marriage is about having the right perception. My name is Ectvn, and thank you for watching. Ectvn, the station that inspires.